good evening class. Today we are going to discuss this chapter, Gravitation for class 9. Even though you have not studied in detail, but you might be familiar with these terms like gravitational pull or force of gravity. These are quite common terms. So before get started, before discussing this phenomenon, which is basically given by Sir Isaac Newton, let me take some example from our day-to-day life. And okay, so the first example of falling on of an apple from a tree. When an apple detaches from a tree, where does it go? We know, towards the earth or in downward direction. But the question is why always towards the earth? It has all the options, like it can go upward direction, it can go in upward direction, or it can remain suspended in the air. But why does it fall towards the earth? So there is something which is attracting it towards the earth or attracting into in downward direction. Similarly, when we jump, why we always land on the earth? Why we cannot go in upward direction, or why we cannot go into the sky by jumping, or why we will not remain suspended in the air? So there is something which is attracting a person towards the earth. Similarly, if we take a natural phenomena like falling of rain, so the water droplets will always fall towards the earth. So all of these example have something in common, which is falling toward the earth. So that something, that common part, there is a some kind of invisible force, so which is attracting all these objects towards the earth. So basically we observed all of these examples in our day-to-day life, and due to scientific temperament sometimes we also ask this question to ourselves. So Newton first observed these phenomenon, and he asked himself why he basically observed an apple which is said at that time, and he asked himself why that apple fall towards the earth. He was able to link totally unrelated phenomena, falling of an apple from a tree and revolution of moon around the earth, or revolution of the planets around the sun. So how did he get this idea? So he observed carefully the fall of an apple. When apple fall towards the earth, same kind of situation is also happening with the moon. But why moon is not falling towards the earth? We never see moon falling towards the earth. So there has to be something. So he was able to correlate these two totally unrelated phenomena with the help of law of gravitation. So from the observation of the Newtons, after observing these objects carefully, so he gave this statement. So he made this observation that every object in the universe attract every other object towards itself. So, and this force, the force of attraction, with which two objects attract each other, that is known as force of gravitation. And the force of gravitation acts even there is nothing connecting the two objects. So it is a basically invisible force. So so explaining these, so Newton gave this universal law of gravitation, which is state that any two particles with masses m1 and m2 attract each other by a force whose magnitude is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So the direction of the force is along the line joining the two masses. So let me take two masses m1 and m2. This is the line joining the center of these two masses. Let us assume that the distance between these two masses is r. So the force is basically directly proportional to the product of their masses, and this force is directly inversely proportional to the square of the distance between these two masses. If we combine these two equations, what we will get, F is proportional to the product of masses divided by square of the distance between them. So if I remove the sign of proportionality, what will I get? F is equal to G m1 m2 upon r square. So this is the law of gravitation, which is given by Newton, where G is a constant. G is a constant of proportionality whose value is 6.67 into 10 raised to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. So the value of G was calculated by Cavendish. So now let me explain the various effects of gravitational force. So if you see the gravitational force is what which keeps the planets revolving around the sun. Gravitational force is what due to which we can walk on the earth. We always remain attached to the earth. If there is no gravitational pull, we will be thrown outward towards the into the sky. Due to gravitational pulls, there is a tides, low tides and high tides. Due to gravity, the moon is also revolving around the earth. So these are the various examples of uh, gravitational force. So this is the basic gravitational force. So we will